You are watching around the big sport. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us. Now the big sport. Mike the Parsons with Green Bay of 11 Packers. Welcome.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. That's quite an
Excellent
introduction.
intro. Excellent intro.
Best intro yet.
Wow. Hi audience. I'm Drew, by the way.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jack.
And you know who I am, Ahmad, and this is
Around
The Bay.
Sports. You know, if you guys heard the news, sorry guys. Have you guys heard the news?
Yep, I've heard the news. All right.
An earthquake has occurred. Volcanic ash everywhere in the NFL. Micah Parsons is with the Green Bay Packers. We'll definitely get to that, but as well as many things. College football is coming up this Saturday. We're going to react of all the big games this weekend. We'll have our NFL division winners predictions, as of course the trade that has just occurred. But
also, we didn't mention in the last podcast, but congrats to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift on getting married.
Yeah, good for those two.
Good for those two.
Hope they grow old together.
Congrats to them. But let's get right to it, folks. College football is coming up this Saturday. We have some pretty big games. Bama got Florida State. LSU got Clemson. You know, Bill in college having his Chapel debut against TCU. A lot of excitement with that one. Well, what are you guys predictions with those games?
Well, for those games, the biggest one during the weekend is going to be Texas and Ohio State. I mean, number 1 against number 3. How close can you get to that besides 1 against 2? But for that one, I got Ohio State winning it. Arch Manning hasn't really proved himself yet. I mean, he's been a decent player, but he hasn't showed like, hey, I'm going to be the top guy for the entire year. Because he's like the most favorite like player of the year in college football. But we'll see the results. Now, for other ones, what was another matchup you said?
Bama against Florida State.
Well, Florida State isn't really ranked, and you don't really know too much about them. And Alabama has still that young receiver, I believe Williams' his name. I don't remember what his first name is. Audience, if you know, you can put that in the comment section.
Ryan Williams, by the way.
So Ryan Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, he's going to be a very popular player on the Alabama team, but as much as it pains me to say it, I got Alabama in that game because I can't stand Alabama. It's just they were the first college. Well, they were like the third college team I didn't like. Now, for another matchup was between Clemson and LSU. I got Clemson winning that one. I don't like LSU at all because Brian Kelly is a coward and he wants to just take the most popular football players and have try to get the best recruiting team. I personally don't like LSU, so I got Clemson winning that, and Clemson is number 4, which is honestly I'm kind of fascinated about. Now for the last one for Notre Dame, Miami, I got Notre Dame. It's just you guys know they're my favorite college team. My dad went to Notre Dame, and now they're doing a good old game of Notre Dame against Miami, and all those years ago where they were like the Catholics versus convicts rivalry. I got the Catholics obviously winning. So go Notre Dame. Hopefully you can beat the Hurricanes.
Drew, what's your predictions?
Before I say my prediction, people, you all can say this position in the comments too. So if you don't like the position, just say who you got your prediction in the comments. But yeah, obviously the biggest game is obviously Texas versus Ohio State. It's a 9 a.m. Pacific time game for us California boys or West Coast people, but noon for East Coast people. Obviously, this is probably a bigger test for Arch Manning's career because he hasn't got really I guess not a lot of reps against like high profile teams. I mean, he got a little reps against Georgia last year, but this is like your first real test, and obviously he's like the main like player that people and it's like favorite to win the Heisman. I'm pretty sure. So but I think this game was decided if he's actually favored to win Heisman, but. Ohio State's the reigning champs, so I think I got Ohio State winning, and it's in Ohio Stadium, which is in. But the other game is Bama versus Florida State. Obviously, Alabama, like if Nick Saban was coach, but he's not the coach anymore. But I got Rams. Bam, I mean, I got Bama winning the game. That's why him. He's pretty good, and Florida State are just frauds at this point. I mean, you saw it from last year, but. The other game is the battle against Death Valley. This is the LSU and Clemson. This is the debate seeing which Death Valley is better. But obviously, Brian Kelly, he used to be a Notre Dame coach, so he went to LSU. But, everyone talks about the QB for LSU, thinks he's the best in SEC, but they also talk about the QB of Clemson. So, Kane Kubek, whatever his name is. I sorry to butcher his name, but I got Clemson winning because they just I don't know. It just proves that ACC is can be better than SEC, but I feel like LSU is always overrated. So they're always overrated. And then obviously the last game is Notre Dame versus Miami. Obviously, I'm a Notre Dame fan, so obviously of course I'm gonna say Notre Dame, but Miami, no, they always I don't know, they just got lucky last year for some reason. Like I said in the previous shows, but obviously Carson Beck, he's pretty washed at this point. Last year he was supposed to be a Heisman, but guess what? It turned out he didn't have a good season, and now he's in Miami. So obviously he's not gonna do everything what Cam Ward did for them. So I think obviously Notre Dame's gonna win.
All right. For
What do you
me,
think?
well, before we begin, if anyone that's watching, can you clip it and send it to us? Because honestly, I don't think I ever got that excited of an NFL trade that big to join my Green Bay Packers. Like, that took a lot out of me, not going to lie.
You try to do the Jason Kelsey intro, I see.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to topic. So, yeah, first big game, 12:30, Bama going to Florida State. Yeah, like as Jack said, I hate to say it, Bama will probably win that. The deficit, I don't know what the spread is, but whatever the deficit is, but I think it'll at least be a pretty close game unless Bama pulls away in the fourth quarter. But I got Bama winning that one. As for I agree with you guys saying about Clemson LSU because there's a lot of excitement about Clemson might have the best odds of actually going for a national title. So I don't know. Sweeney, he hasn't won. Last time I saw Clemson won was Trevor Lawrence's era when they was here in the Bay Area against Bama. Of course, wasn't not the greatest crowd there, but the students supporting their colleges. But like it'd be a good start. Just to give a mark, Clemson number 4 in the nation. They're going to show why they're in the top 5 with a potential maybe Heisman of Kubiak.
Yeah, honestly, like how are you going to have an unproven Clemson at number 4 and you're going to have Notre Dame at number 6? Notre Dame at number 6 to me is still crazy.
Yeah, like going to that Notre Dame game.
And even Ohio State being ranked 3rd is still crazy too because they won the championship.
Like Ohio State, they're always good at home. They always find a way. Like I really want to go for Texas just because me being a Michigan fan, but the way Ohio State's usually had they been at home, they've been always the dominant. They won the national title. Wish Notre Dame took it, but yeah, like I got Ohio State. Just might as well pull the upset. I feel like it's just all of a setup for Ohio State to take the beat number 1 seed, and probably being the number 1. And as for the Notre Dame game, like I feel like for Notre Dame, since they got number 6, they better blow them out of the water.
No, honestly, you better
out of the Atlantic.
College football, whatever group that's called, and kick them in the ass.
Yeah, Notre Dame. I mean, like Miami, they're definitely having some progress with their new coach. Like last season, they had their pretty much I think their best season they've had in a bit. But it's Notre Dame. They just they got number 6. So they just need to crush them. And then for Bill, like I didn't hear you guys, but do you feel Bill will get a win for Chapel Hill?
I forgot you mentioned that. I think that's going to be very interesting. I believe that game is Monday they're against TCU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is going to be very interesting because I don't know how their recruiting system is. I don't know how good they were or who their quarterback's going to be. But it's going to be very interesting to see how Bill Belichick will do with all of his experience in the NFL, having coaching Brady and all those other guys, and taking it to college football. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, like I just saw some videos on social media of Bill teaching these young players. So that's starting to already work in sync. But and is there any other teams, any other matchups I'm forgetting?
I saw Georgia had a game, but it's against. I think it's like against someone like
Marshall. Playing Marshall.
Yeah, that's gonna Georgia's gonna massacre Marshall.
Yeah,
unless it's like a Leon Marshall kind of game, then
that'll be a blowout. Unless Marshall, unless Penn State somehow gets upsetted.
Yeah.
Playing Nevada though.
Yeah.
Against Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of with that coach.
Yeah. However, we already have our very first ranked upset with South Florida USF beating Boise State 34-7. So that truly means that Boise State is not going to be much without Ashton Jeanty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're in that post phase. It's just crazy they got ranked.
Yeah.
I know
and this is actually Florida's I think their first win against a ranked team since 2016, which is insane. So bad luck for Boise State.
But yeah, that's our predictions. Make sure if you're a fan of the Irish or any other college that are ranked, or at least a college you believe that can pull off an upset, pull out your bold predictions. We will react.
Who's Cal play?
Cal got Oregon State.
Oh,
the Beavers.
Yeah, the Beavers.
Okay, never mind. That's my bad, folks. That's the second ranked upset so far, with Kansas State losing last week to Iowa State.
Yeah.
17 against 22.
So let's get right to it. The NFL. We know the NFL season's approaching next week of this day on September 4th with the Cowboys and the Super Bowl champs of the Eagles. But if you can see why I said it in that way, you see it below why. But we'll get to that.
The Cowboys. First off, usually you don't feel bad for a city when something bad happens to them in sports, obviously, like if they lose the championship or choke or something. But they've managed to lose 2 future icons for the city in a year?
No, like 6 months.
No, like 6 months. That's crazy. You lost Luka Doncic, who's the future of the NBA. You lost Micah Parsons, who could have been one of the greatest Dallas Cowboys defensive players ever, and you just get rid of him. It's not a good time to live. Honestly, if I lived in Dallas right now, it is not a good time to be there right now.
Not only that, what Jerry did, the trade. We'll get our full reactions shortly, but
just go to Houston.
Yeah, go into Dallas. But it's speaking of Dallas, what Jerry Jones did. He has done that back in 1994-96, where there was a safety on Dallas that had an all-pro season and got traded that following off season. So this is the second time he did this sort of decision that we'll never know. But let's get back to the NFL, not the Micah Parsons trade. We'll get to that shortly. But we're going to predict, since the NFL is approaching, we will predict our division winners. We'll start with the AFC and work our way to the NFC.
Okay.
So let's go with the AFC North.
let's see. The
Started off.
North, I got the Ravens winning.
Got the Ravens by how many games?
Yes. It's going to be very tight between them, and the Steelers to me. The Bengals, they're going to be good, but they're not going to be enough because their defense is so horrible.
I mean, they did sign Trey Hendricks.
Yeah, but who else did you get on defense besides still having him?
Yeah, not much.
Like it's gonna be Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, Browns.
All right, Drew, what's your prediction for the AFC North?
I got the Ravens because by 2 games. I think
mine's by 2 games also. My bad.
I don't know. I feel like Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh will be my second. I agree with Jack. The list he just said. I think Steelers would be second because obviously Mike Tomlin has never been eliminated. Well, not eliminated, but like he never like had a season where he never been to playoffs, but he always make the playoffs. So I think he'll be second, then Bengals will be third, and then Browns be last.
Okay, like I got the Ravens as well, but my bold prediction actually, because with Aaron Rodgers. The question is, would he affect Mike Tomlin so much that the Steelers might have their like worst record in a while?
That's
I don't know. For the Browns, yes, the team is dismantled. There's a lot of issues, but if they can hopefully find some common ground. I do have the Browns in third, but I'm going to give it to the Ravens and let Cincy.
So you have the Bengals. So you have the Bengals in fourth.
I have Ravens, Bengals, and as for the Steelers, it's just I'm just not so confident. I mean, yes, they have a team, but it's just the Aaron Rodgers effect would affect a great coach.
Well, they have one of the best ranked defenses right now in the NFL.
That's what it was like with the Jets, but look what happened.
Yeah, but I mean, like at least the Steelers have like a TJ Watt on your defense.
Okay, but I feel like I'm just doing a pretty bold prediction for the Browns taking third.
Okay.
Not by much though.
Yeah.
But let's get to it. Let's go to the AFC South. We know it's probably the Texans division, but does any of us see anything different?
Let's see. I have the Texans winning the division. I actually have the Jaguars in second. I have the Colts in third, and I got the Titans at fourth.
Okay.
Titans got their new rookie quarterback situation. They have they got 2 decent guys on offense. I kind of like Calvin Ridley, and Tony Pollard is going to get the ball a lot because their other backup guy is going to be out for like the first 6 weeks or something. For the Colts, I don't trust Daniel Jones at quarterback one bit.
Right.
And it could go horribly wrong in the first week, and Jonathan Taylor is going to be getting like 25-plus carries a game. I could honestly see that for the Colts. If he gets like 20 carries or more per game, like I said, 25 or more, maybe they can have a decent season. And for the Jaguars, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a good comeback year. I think he's going to play very well this season. But I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, though. I think they're going to just miss wild card. And then I got the Texans at first.
Okay.
They're the best team of the 3, which is
I'll probably agree with you the same way because with the Colts, they'll probably at least have enough wins to at least have an okay season. As for the Titans, it's Cam Ward, and that he had a little fight with one of his captains of the defense. So it's just we're not sure about Cam Ward with the Titans, but we wish for him the best. But yeah, I got the same Texans, Jags, Colts, the Titans at last. But the Titans and the Colts, it can be either or. They can go third or fourth, but I'll just stick with the Colts at third. Drew?
Yeah, like y'all just said, Texans, Jaguars, Colts, and Titans steam like a bull today. But Yeah, because obviously Amon just mentioned Cam Ward. He's the new QB. Also, he also mentioned the fight that happened in training camp, and then as for Colts, obviously Daniel Jones is the QB. So your life your life is probably on the line right now with him. But compared to Anthony Richardson, but hopefully Jonathan Taylor can get more touches. But obviously Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is gonna have his Jack mentioned, he's gonna have a much better season than he had last year. And then obviously, you also got Travis Hunter, a two-way guy. So, but yeah, and then Texans got one of the best defense. So, and CJ Stroud. So,
All right, let's get to the West now. The Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. This one's always can be a toss-up. I know for me, especially, it's really between Denver or LA. Because Bo Nix, Sean Payton might be having a good resemblance of Drew Brees on the way they have been communicating since he joined Denver, and then you got Harbaugh with Herbert. That connection is starting to go well. And as for the Chiefs, they tried the three-peat, got annihilated by the Eagles, and then you have the Raiders, which is kind of like the most interesting team now with the moves they made even before the season began, getting Amari Cooper, getting Kenny Pickett for at least getting a decent backup of Kenny Pickett, and then with the uh, Gino and Carroll, they worked together well. Of course, they beat the Niners one time, but yeah. So, what do you guys think? Like, who you got?
Well, for me, I have the Broncos winning the division. The Broncos had nice additions in the offseason, including getting two former Niners, and that's Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw. When I thought the Niners lost Greenlaw, to me, I thought that was their biggest loss of the offseason because he was such a key member of the defense. I have the Chargers second. I think Herbert's going to have a terrific year, and Jim Harbaugh is going to. Jim Harbaugh is, to me, he's going to be candidate for Coach of the Year, in my honest opinion. I think they're going to have a much improved season. I think the Chiefs are going to fall at 3. They're not going to be the powerhouse that they used to be, hopefully, God willing.
Fiasco.
And they got the Raiders at last. I hope the Raiders play well this year, of course. I think if the Raiders are going to be a much improved team, and honestly, this is kind of a hot take in my opinion. I think the AFC West is going to be one of the toughest divisions in football.
All right. Like, for me, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to go with LA, and I'll get Denver at second. And then, yeah, it's really a toss-up between the Chiefs and the Raiders. Because the Raiders just passed the Chiefs to take the third place at least. So they're like the most curiosity team in the AFC for me. Just me being as a fan, but I feel like with Brady taking the reins a little bit, being a minority owner, but also having more eyes and more of his knowledge of what he sees as him being a former player, and it's just Raider curious. Like, I feel I really don't know, third or fourth seed, but I'm gonna go with Jack. And I think the Raiders might have just missed the Chiefs because the Chiefs will probably still a decent team no matter what because we've seen their success. But yeah, like they might have a bit of a downfall this year. And yeah, so I'm going Chiefs. I'm going Chargers. I'm going Chargers with Broncos, Chiefs, and then the Raiders.
Okay.
Drew?
for me, I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say Broncos as my first place team. Obviously, Bo Nix, he's what he's playing well. He always play well. But also the defense. They got Patterson, who was a defensive player of the year, pretty sure, last season. So also good defense. Obviously, Sean Payton's the coach, so you kind of bring the vibe from the Saints to the Broncos, and then they're probably gonna win by 2 games against the second place team by the Chargers. By the way. Chargers will be my second team. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh is, bringing back the old Niner days, to the Chargers. Obviously, he has some Niner players, no Von Bonus or defensive specialist. So, have him, and then third would be Chiefs. Obviously, this is probably the only downfall. They have a little bit of downfall this year, and then also, hopefully the Raiders can do well this year. But I got the Raiders as last place. But it's like Jack said, this is gonna be one of the toughest division this upcoming year. So.
Yeah, and we all know what Jesse would be saying of who he has winning the division.
Well, actually, for Jesse, he's going to be like real. He's realistic. He's not like I think he had the Broncos be the Broncos year to win this division.
So most of us agree that the Broncos are going to win. I'm on saying
Charger.
Yeah,
Chargers.
All right, let's go to the AFC East.
Okay.
Jack, Bills.
All right. Yeah. Bills are going to be number one. That's
Drew?
very, very obvious.
Bills. Yeah, Bills.
I got the Bills. All right, moving on.
Yeah. Going more into detail about that division, though, the Dolphins, I think they're going to be a wild card team. They could have a potential year as long as Tua doesn't get hurt. If Tua doesn't get hurt for a full season, he could be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Like, if he doesn't get hurt, because he has a bunch of concussions. But the Patriots are not going to be good, and the Jets are going to be one of the worst teams in football. All right, moving on.
All right.
Yeah,
let's get to the NFC. So NFC East, we'll pass for the moment. The North, I think we'll pass for the moment. Let's start with the South.
Okay. This is a tough division because they're all so mediocre. No offense to the fans out there. I know some Buccaneers fans because I went to college in Florida and then one Panthers fan. But the thing is, the Buccaneers are going to win the division. That much is obvious. Baker Mayfield's got his thing in Tampa Bay, which is great for him. The Saints are going to be the worst team in football, so they're fourth. I think Panthers are going to be 3, and then the Falcons will be 2. But the Falcons are going to be less than 500, so it's going to be a clear, easy path for the Buccaneers making it to the playoffs.
You think they'll just run it by midseason?
I think, honestly, well, I need to look at their schedules, but I think the Buccaneers could have almost like get comfortable, like a good amount of games, like ahead in first place by week 10.
Okay. Drew?
Yeah, I got the Buccaneers and then Falcons and then Panthers and Saints, the 2. And obviously those 2 teams are going to be the worst team in the league. So.
All right. I have probably the same, like we're all doing. The way Tampa has been with Baker Mayfield finally finding the home and at least now giving their team pretty much playoff chances after chance. We especially see Tampa Bay in the playoffs a lot more now, I feel like. And it'll go on from there. But yeah, I got Tampa Bay 1. And with Penix having his first full season, that'll be another curiosity team. I had the Raiders of a curious team, but Atlanta now with Penix having now the full control.
Is it no longer Kirk Cousins?
Well, like I feel like I'm just feeling like it's going to stick with Micah because seeing all the like comedy humor, it's like they want to trade Kirk already, and Kirk has a massive deal, so no one's going to take it. But yeah, I got Atlanta, and then I got Atlanta. All right, so I got the Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and Panthers and the Saints. I mean, Panthers, Saints, it can be flip-flopped.
Yeah, but I think it's a clear cut that the Saints are going to be the worst team in football.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you don't, like, sometimes there's typical teams you're sure of. I'm 99% sure the Saints are going to be the worst team in football.
All right, be realistic, guys.
I'm going to lose to them, though, in week 2. I'm going to lose my mind.
Be realistic, guys, about the NFC West.
Okay. I made this bet with Jesse, so I'm going to stick to it. The Niners are going to win the division.
All right.
The Rams are going to be close to second by, I'm going to say, a game. It's going to be like down to the last week.
Okay.
Then I think the Cardinals are going to be third, and the Seahawks are going to be fourth.
I don't know, you think there's any competitiveness in that division?
No, there definitely is. And when the Niners play against Sam Darnold, I want to see if Sam Darnold was actually good on the Vikings, or if it was just coaching, or if it was just because of Justin Jefferson. Because he doesn't have a target like that in Seattle. Yeah, sure, he's got Cooper Kupp, but that's not a Justin Jefferson. So we'll see who Sam Darnold really is. Because if he's the guy he used to be when he first got drafted to the Jets and didn't really play well, got benched constantly, then I don't think the Seahawks are a contender for the division.
All right, Drew. What's your realistic?
Yes, I got the Niners. Only by a game though. Only by a game to the Rams. By the way, only is gonna go down the road to week 18. Only by a game. I think the Rams will be second, obviously, and then my third place would be Seattle, and then my last would be Arizona.
Okay,
I think Arizona is a dark horse, and I don't remember, Amon, if it was you or if it was Jesse saying something about the Cardinals.
Jesse.
Okay, yeah, Jesse said they were like a sleeping giant or something.
Yeah.
They might be the sleeping giant. Maybe get in the playoffs this year.
Maybe.
They could. I'm still a little concerned about the Cardinals. That's why I put them in third.
Well, for me, it's just what's going on with the Niners. You got suspensions. Ayuk won't be back till mid-season. But would their team still be well enough to get Ayuk in to hopefully give them more weapons with the loss of Debo? It's just tough of what's going on. But I got the Rams, but know what? I'm going to be a dark horse fan to get the Cardinals second place and the Niners at third. And then Seattle at last. That's mine. Moving on. Where should we start? Let's go with the NFC East. Giants fans, I think you guys can get third place now.
No. Well, no.
No?
No. I think okay, here. Okay, I'm going to go first.
Go for it.
The Eagles, well.
Commanders?
The Commanders are going to win the division.
All right.
By a game. The Eagles are going to be second. And they're going to still abuse that tush-push thing that they're going to spam every single game at least once or twice. And
because that Giants.
I got Commanders at 1, Eagles at 2. I still have the Cowboys at 3. I think the Cowboys are going to be pretty good offensively because they added George Pickens in the offseason. But defensively, they're going to suck. Because you lost your big boy, Micah Parsons, and now he's chewing on some cheese in Green Bay. But
cheese curd.
The New York Giants, as long as I've been alive, they won 2 Super Bowls, yes. But they have always known to be terrible. So I got the Giants in 4th.
All right. Drew?
Yeah, I got Commanders by game. And the Eagles will be second. Yeah, they got the tush push. They got Saquon. Honestly, that's probably why they will be second because Saquon got the Manning curse. So, and then my third, obviously, I was gonna say, but I'm gonna say Cowboys as my third, and then Giants because if you're not starting Jackson Dart, you're screwed. So,
because I just want to think of Jackson Dart. There were some quite highlights in the preseason. So I feel like when the Giants made that trade up, it seemed it's we'll get a full picture, of course, when the regular season kicks off. Yeah, but just since they traded up and then went Dart over Shador, there was definitely some resembling moment. He didn't feel too shaken from the highlights I saw. But yeah, but no, I got Commanders, Eagles, definitely a toss-up. But I'm on the hype train with Daniels, just the way he started, and heck, he almost had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. It would have been insane if that happened. But yeah, I got them at first, Eagles at second. Do I believe the Giants could possibly take third? Maybe not. We'll give it the Cowboys. They lost another key piece, another future Hall of Famer. I mean, I feel like May won't be as much because since now the Cowboys losing a big piece, they got Kenny Clark, still like 30 years of age, but he's still a pretty key piece. I mean, it ain't no Micah, but they I feel like that defense, the secondary, it might be a bit of a mess, but they might do well enough.
I'm not entirely. I mean, you still have Trayvon Diggs on defense.
You got Trayvon Diggs. So, that Cowboys defense, though they lost a key pass rusher, but they still got at least a big piece in the middle of Kenny Clark, which we'll talk about shortly. But yeah, I feel like maybe they'll at least take a game ahead, maybe 2 or 3 over the Giants. I don't know. I feel like the Giants, yes, they're the Giants, but of course I have to see it when I see it. But this Jackson Dart future seems bright.
Yeah, we'll see how Russell Wilson does first.
Yeah, we'll see how Russ does it, Winston. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the NFC North. NFC North, who do you got?
All right.
Are you guys going to say it?
I'm not going to say it.
All right, moving on.
Okay. I got – well, first, I'm going to start from fourth to top, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I got the Bears in last place. This is by far the best division in football.
Division, says.
And I believe in 3 of the 4 teams. Well, honestly, I kind of believe in 2 of the 4 teams because J.J. McCarthy, I still want to see how he does because he was out for a full year last year when he had his – what was his injury again? Was it a torn Achilles or –
Meniscus.
Oh, okay, he had a torn meniscus, so he has yet to prove himself. It could you could be looking at a Sam Darnold situation, honestly. So but for the Bears, I think Caleb Williams is a decent quarterback, but I think he's probably I would say he's either third or worst one in that division with J.J. McCarthy was a question mark. So I got Bears at 4. I got Vikings at 3.
And now the tough one. It's tough for me.
The thing is,
Green Bay.
I really like Green Bay's defense now. But that Lions offense is something else. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got Jared Goff, you got David Montgomery, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, excuse me. There's this other guy.
Laporta.
What's up? Sam Laporta. But there's also this receiver, I believe his name is Jameson Williams. He's going to have a breakout year. I think he could be the second-tier threat to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the Green Bay Packers are weak at the corner, so that's going to be a little bit of a concern. Now, for rushing, again, for Packers rushing defense, their rushing defense is going to be top 3, guaranteed, with the addition of Micah Parsons. A healthy Micah Parsons. As long as he's healthy. If he's not, you just gave away one of your experienced guys who's played the team for 9 years, and now you have no inside presence on him, which would be the concerning part. But if he's healthy, I think the Packers are one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL. But now as for this, I got the Packers in 2. I got the Lions at 1.
By how many games you think?
That's going to be by – honestly, they played – I believe those 2 teams play against each other in week 1. I think that game is going to really show who the better team is. But as for how many games, I say 1. But the Packers are still – they're not going to – I don't think they're going to win the division, but they're going to be the number 1 wild card spot. So they're definitely making the playoffs, though.
All right. Drew?
Yep. obviously the toughest division in the whole NFL. Obviously, the Bears are just Bears at this point. Obviously, they got Ben Johnson as a new, the old offensive coordinator from Lions, but no, he's a coach of the Chicago Bears. Obviously, Bears are being Bears, and then Caleb Williams didn't do well last year, so he kind of got exposed last year. So, and then my third would be the Vikings. Obviously, Jason McCarthy. We don't know how he's going to do after taking a year off, just recovering from the torn meniscus. Obviously, you got Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers in the league, but you don't have Cameron Bynum, the celebration, the defensive, the safety. You lost him to the Colts. Obviously, you don't have him, Cameron Bynum. We all saw the celebration after each interception, but shout out to him. And then, but second, I mean, obviously Green Bay. I do like Green Bay. The Packers they can compete for sure. And then obviously, they got Michael Parsons. If he's healthy, Green Bay can have one of the best rushing defense in the league. And then obviously, if he's healthy, they can have that. And then, but obviously, we talk about Jordan Love a lot in the show with him playing dumb in the gets him. I don't know. He's playing his dumb in the preseason, so we don't know how that's gonna react to an actual game. But this game, the match between the Lions and the Packers, are gonna show which team rules the division. And I think the Lions will win by one game, like they did last year when they were when they had the Vikings on the tails. So, and I think the Packers the Packers will 100% would be in the playoffs.
So what's your standings?
So my Lions first, but only by a game, and then Packers, and then Vikings and Bears.
All right.
Like, honestly, Amon, before we get to you, the question I have is Jordan Love, thanks to the addition of this, is this gonna help him calm, or is this gonna help him stress a little? Because Micah Parsons, he's kind of a pushy player he was pushy with Dak Prescott. So I think this is very interesting. So I think the question is, like, will Jordan Love have a good year? Because, I mean, he's got decent guys on offense. But the question is, like,
I think
how's he going to be?
I think this will definitely be an improving year for him. I believe he's going to have an improving year.
Because sometimes, saying is who is his own worst enemy.
True. But
Amon, you're going Bears the division, right?
Thought.
Yeah.
But for Chicago, just to be realistic, Ben Johnson, offense career, helped the Lions, got to the playoffs, but since the Lions finally in the NFL playoffs for the first time ever, it was they made their statement of showing themselves that they can be a playoff team, which is absolutely true. I do see him back in the playoffs. But yeah, for the Bears, though, we kind of have to see it. It's been because last year Bears went 7-10. Would it be maybe a little decrease? I think so. Like maybe we just at least go 5 to 6 games. Until we see it, then the Bears could at least have I'd say a pretty good season. But I gotta see it to believe it. So I'll take him through. Like Jack, you're mentioning about McCarthy. This is like I'm a Michigan fan. He did so well in college, and when he got hurt last year, it did hurt because I did really want to see him. I feel like he was going to get the starting role, but he had a meniscus tear. So it's a question mark. But it's really the Bears and the Vikings. It's those two teams are questioned. The main focus is really across Lake Michigan. You got Detroit. On the other side, you got Milwaukee as well as Green Bay, Madison. That's really the question, and this one's it's so much to process. Honestly,
be honest.
Yeah,
But
be
to be
realistic.
Be realistic.
With a healthy Micah, I have them win the division. But if not, I'll give it to the Lions because Dan Campbell is Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
You've seen
I'm
him.
gonna assume though it's by what? How many
just
games?
depends.
How many games?
Sorry guys. 1 to 2.
Okay.
It just depends because injuries. A lot of people got hurt in this preseason.
Even draws happen sometimes. They're very rare, but they happen.
That could happen. This division is something that every person needs to watch. Watch all the teams even. We might be surprised about the Bears and the Vikings.
Yeah. And Dan Campbell, the thing I've always liked about Dan Campbell is he's a risk taker. And you always like that in a coach. And I think, honestly, he's one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. My obvious being favorite, Kyle Shanahan. I'd put Dan Campbell as my second favorite head coach in the NFL.
Got our first comment of the stream. And I do agree. Packers and Vikings, they are the X's and O's. And seeing Dan Campbell, they even had the best Hard Knocks intro of him.
Like when the Lions lost their playoff game against the Commanders, Dan Campbell was crying in the press conference. So it means the world to him to do this and to be a coach to that team.
Yeah, like
he shows a lot of care for his players.
Yeah, he's going to be a coach until the time he wants to call it quits,
he's not going anywhere. And if they fire him, there's going to be a riot in Detroit again.
They're not going to fire him. Him and Jared Goff, they have a great connection. The way he teaches motivates him, and everyone loves a good motivator. But sometimes for people like LaFleur and the Vikings coach and the Bears, they're X's and O's, but they do also have in a way a slight of motivation to help them correct and help them fix issues. Like for the Vikings coach, can he teach McCarthy to give him guidance through this first year? But yeah, I got with the healthy Micah, I give the Packers, but if not, I'll give it to the Lions by a game or two. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the topic that we all have been saying throughout the stream, and now we can really break this down.
This is one of our biggest stories, and
biggest story
sports in a while.
Probably the most biggest trade we'll probably get in sports in a bit, unless something drastic happens during the season. But let's get to it. So, people that chimed in, you missed probably our best intro of the stream so far. I went full on Jason Kels mode, pretty much. But let's get to the trade. So, in case anyone didn't get the news, Micah Parsons is with the Green Bay Packers, and he signed a 4-year. If I get this right, $180 million total with $130 guaranteed. Is that correct? For 4 years.
Yeah. It was a 4-year, $188 million contract with the players, $120 million guaranteed, and $136 million in total guarantees.
Guaranteed.
And he will be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
Like the way this trade is for Packer fans, you can almost take this of what happened with the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Jets had a great defense. They had a great offense. They just need a quarterback. They get Aaron Rodgers. They were going so excited that they're going to the Super Bowl because, we see a quarterback like A-Rod help your team, you feel that energy. But you guys hear about my realistic, if healthy, Packers, if not. If he doesn't start too many games, then give it to the Lions.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trade that went down was Micah Parsons to Green Bay for Kenny Clark. And out of all the pieces that was given up, it's probably the most ideal, realistic one I could think of. Because I don't see him doing Rashad Gary. I mean, they could do Van Ness, but for Jerry Jones, he sees trades in a totally different way as other GMs and owners might see of how they proceed. But yeah, Jack, go ahead. I'll let you start with just this trade and what you see.
Yeah.
What you see.
This was not. This is one of the more unexpected news I've heard. I haven't heard of crazy news like this where a player getting traded since Luka Doncic, and he went to a team unexpectedly from Dallas to another historic team. Micah Parsons on a Dallas team leaves for another historic team in Green Bay, being one of the oldest football teams, if not, I think the oldest, but I'm not entirely sure. This is bad luck for Dallas, but as for Micah Parsons, this is good for him in his career. He's got something to try new, but he's going to be freezing in Lambeau Field. Instead of feeling nice warm sunshine in Dallas in the south, he's going to be feeling the cold in the north. So it's going to be a whole different weather experience for him. And could that affect him in a certain way? That couldn't, going into
Green Bay is actually that field's actually they have a system to keep the field not turning to ice.
Yeah, but it's still like a weather factor on like how people are. But I think this is great for Green Bay. They needed defense really badly, and they needed someone young and competitive. And they finally got their guy. But as for the trade itself, I remember when I first heard about the news, like, okay, Micah Parsons is going to be traded soon, and Dallas is making calls to people. I heard a few teams were like trying to call him. They didn't announce who they were, but the number one team that popped up first before anyone else was Green Bay. Like rumors are Green Bay is going to try to trade for Micah Parsons, and I was like, I mean, I don't really see that. Micah Parsons in a Packers uniform.
Especially scary.
That would be like what's a comparison? That would be like Draymond Green in like an Oklahoma City Thunder jersey. It would just make no sense, and it just looks weird. But now he's wearing the green and yellow. But good for him. I wish him luck. And the crazy part is about this, the Cowboys play against the Packers in Dallas. So that game is and it's a Sunday night game too. Honestly, I think that's going to be the most viewed football game of the year. And it's in week 4, I believe. Literally in 1 month from today, which is insane. Like, I don't know if things are scripted, but this definitely sounds like kind of might be, but or maybe it's just fate. I don't know.
We'll see, because the NFL has their ways. Drew, will get it to you.
Yeah, not only this is a great move by being Green Bay itself. Obviously, they need defense. Obviously, like I said, in the division prediction, they're gonna have one of the best defense if he's healthy. Obviously, we'll see if he passes physical or not. But that's one thing about trades, that you have to pass your physical. But but also not only Cowboys got Kenny Clark, but they got 2 first-round picks, which is insane value. And then obviously, he got extended, so in the same night. So I guess Say Dallas having dark horse, another nightmare again, like Jack mentioned, the Luka trade. So obviously, great players in Dallas. Now it goes to short teams, and obviously, best of luck for him in Green Bay. Obviously, it's freezing in Wisconsin, and enjoy your cheese.
Yeah, so for me now, like, I'm just like, I just can't believe it. Like, even just the state of Wisconsin making trades or signing Damian Lillard, and now with Micah Parsons. And it's just like, I didn't expect it. Like, I was just thinking, I'm like, well, I don't know if do we have the cap? But of course, he's up for extension, so I could see how that can work. And like, when I saw the breakdown of the trade, it was like Kenny Clark, and I'm like, all right, and 2 firsts. I'm like, okay, because I was like, what's the player we're giving up for this? And just got my thoughts here. It's shaking with, like, I can't be so excited enough to say Super Bowl. I can't do all that because that's why I'm with the Jets, and you saw what happened. So it's like, definitely an upgrade. Now, here's something about this trade maybe you guys didn't know. Because Rashad Gary, he's approaching to his 30 years of age. So by getting Micah, we're getting that duo. I want to see how long we can keep that duo. But let's just say, not going to happen though. But let's just say something happened to Rashad Gary, if he gets traded, which I don't see that at all, or even in the future, like if he retires or he moves on because maybe just didn't have the cap like we did with Aaron Jones. So it's like getting Micah. It's like, okay, with Rashad Gary, whenever his time comes up or something drastic occurs, Micah, hopefully he can adjust to this defense because this defense does a 4-3. And you know what 4-3s do? They send pressure. And let me just give you some stats. Because last year with the defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, who was a former defensive coordinator and coach during the NFL, then he went to college. When he came in, he gave this Packers even defensive boost. Top 5 in total defense, 6 in top 10 in points allowed. And not only that, the run defense, best in 15 years. And now you get with the takeaways of 13 more that they ever had so far. And now you got Micah. You offensive line, you better watch out. You got Rashad Gary, now you got Micah Parsons. And now Luke Van Ness will hopefully get more reps now. Maybe if he's going to try D-tackle, or at least now for him, you'll have more reps with now Kenny Clark with Dallas. And Kenny Clark, 40 sacks so far in his career, 76 QB hits. He's definitely that big man up front to penetrate the inner line of offense, to give time for linebackers or corners or safeties to blitz. So he's definitely not because like a battering ram for Dallas. And I wish him the luck. I mean, we're going to talk about this Kenny Clark trade of just about him, what you see with the Cowboys now. But yeah, I'm stoked. I can't wait for this NFL season. It's going to be a good one. I know that's probably probably didn't say too much that you guys feel like I should say, but I'm trying to keep my excitement to a minimum and see how the season plays out. But what a move by Brian. Didn't know how he pulled it off. Jerry Jones, I don't know what's going on with them at this point. But yeah, for people in the we got our first comment here a while back when Jack was talking. Of course, epic move by the Packers. But he's going to almost on the same level when Reggie White signed with Green Bay.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Well, I mean, almost is still a long way, but we'll see results from Micah, and we'll find out.
We'll see the results. We'll see how he adjusts to the scheme. But since he always known to pass rush, this scheme fit should better suit him. But yeah, let's just go with Kenny Clark now with Dallas. Just the Cowboys now. They got Kenny Clark, 2 first-round picks. So, Drew, I'll go back to you. What do you think of just for the Dallas who they got for Micah?
Obviously, Kenny Clark, he's also he's a defensive tackle. Obviously, he's going to be 30 in a month from now, and obviously, wish nothing but the best of luck in Dallas. Obviously, you're not going to be in freezing cold in Wisconsin, and guess you're not eating cheese, but you'll be in the dome. Obviously, you got the Texas heat, obviously, but besides that, but they also got 2 first-round picks, both 2026 and 2027, which is kind of valuable for some teams. But like I said, can't wait for those who match. Like Jeff mentioned, those 2 teams will face each other in Week 4, and obviously, I forgot to say when we talked about Micah, but Micah's probably gonna get booed since he requested. So.
Yeah, definitely get the loud boos. But I don't know. I just feel like Dallas fans in general have eyes on somebody.
Yeah. Jerry Jones, actually, after the trade happened, he had a press conference, and he was saying some stuff. But honestly, I think some of it is kind of ridiculous. he said in quotes he had a 46-minute news conference after the trade happened. He said in quote, "This was a move to get us successful in the playoffs. Okay, this was a move to be better on defense, stopping the run. This was a move to, if we get behind, not to be run on. And it was a deliberate move, a well thought out move to make this happen." Okay, Texas, if you guys have any retirement homes, get this guy there ASAP, because when you trade away one of the most well-known guys
who want to be a Cowboy,
who wanted to be a Cowboy for his entire career until recently in the past few months, then I mean,
indeed.
God, Jerry Jones. Honestly, I think someone else needs to get that job. Jerry Jones has been doing this for far too long. He's probably been buddies with guys like Abraham Lincoln or someone like that, but he needs to be done. I remember I saw this funny. I remember I was watching. It was this press conference like a while back talking about the Micah Parsons news, and somebody said in the comment section, "Damn, he sounds like a plantation owner." And this guy, he's just got to go. Someone else needs to take his job.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Kenny Clark. I mean, like, it's the most real. Like, it had to be part of the most realistic trade we have to give up for someone this caliber. Sure, we went really all in. I mean, like, if a Jair was with the Packers, would he have been traded? Maybe. You know, like Jair Alexander. If he was with Green Bay, would he have been the sacrifice piece for?
Could have been, but now he's in Baltimore.
Yeah, now he's in Baltimore. Like, it could have been something like that. It could have been that pretty massive. But, you know, it was Kenny Clark, the veteran, a captain on that Green Bay defense. I mean, he can say, like hearing what Jerry said, I'm like, yeah, all right. You know, Kenny does have that capability to stop runs and help force more blitzes to sack the quarterback.
Yeah, no, but you're still giving him Micah Parsons? I don't
like
think
giving up Micah Parsons. I mean, like, I don't know what year you think this is. Like, sure, if we go back in time,
it's not the 1800s anymore, man.
Not the 1800s or the 1970s, 80s.
Yeah, we're not in the revolution. We're not in the Revolutionary War anymore. Those days are long gone.
Like, yeah, it's just like, you give me a Micah Parsons, sure, for a good veteran defensive tackle. So it's like, okay, but you gave me Micah Parsons.
Yeah, you know, and just for the record, like, people like Jerry Jones give us Joneses a bad name.
Yeah, the Jones name is
being he can't be a Jones anymore. He's got to be Jerry or something.
Like, I don't know if the Cowboys fans might as well just join Houston and let Houston run Texas.
Yeah, a lot of Cowboy fans are leaving because of this and going to be Texans fans or other teams.
But yeah, it's like, we all wish the best for Kenny Clark. He's entering pretty much a very hot zone, and yet fans, they're gonna show up because it's Dallas, it's the Cowboys. If you've been a fan for so long, you just have to roll with it. And yeah, like, we'll see. Kenny Clark's contract goes through the following season, so if he's getting extended or he's getting driven away or traded again or signed somewhere else, we'll see when we cross that bridge. So yeah, like, this trade is like Luka and AD. Luka, high caliber player for Dallas. AD, a very good veteran center. And you see, like, and AD was, in that case, was injury prone. As for Kenny Clark, I mean, his health, it's up and down. But yeah, just for Micah Parsons, I'm just like, what are you smoking? And Stephen A will probably say, are you on the weed?
Yeah. Like, are you on drugs?
Or
he might just have like an early case of Alzheimer's. I don't know.
Who knows? But he sees You see, his eyes are different to others that we are just not used to, I guess. His vision on what he sees is so stuck in the past.
Honestly, going to this comment right here, it kind of reminds me of that trade. Actually, this might be a comparison to this trade. Because I remember when Khalil Mack got traded from the Raiders, that was a dark day to be a Raiders fan.
Yeah. I like this trade from this fit. Like, it's definitely similar to that. It's like the end results, both teams slight boost, but no Super Bowl. This case, maybe a slight boost, maybe the number one seed in the NFC, or at least the 2 seed or 3 seed. It just depends on the NFC. There's a lot of teams. It's competition all around. But yeah, that will conclude our. Thanks for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and give us a follow. Baxter and
I got something to say. So yeah, like Mon said, like and subscribe if you haven't done that. Also follow us on Instagram. And then also every Thursday we're gonna have, if y'all want to be a guest star on this podcast for Thursdays, please hit us up, DM us on Instagram, or comment or put yourself in the comment section right now, and we'll reach out and send y'all the link.
Yeah, make sure, because as the NFL season approaches, especially for week 1, or even beforehand, we'll definitely have we definitely want some guests without getting that time to see people to be on the stream in front of the viewers. Jack, anything else to say?
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining in. Also, a quick mention: the Giants finally won this series, and they won 5 games in a row. So great for them. Otherwise, hope everybody had a good night. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we will see you all Tuesday.
Oh, the fantasy draft is Tuesday, people. So,
Our fantasy draft coming up. Thanks for tuning in and have our reaction to those classes and blown minds. We might add to the headline to see if one of us puts up the card draft time. So thanks for tuning in. And ladies and gentlemen, Michael Parsons is with the mother-loving Green Bay Packers. See ya.
see you Tuesday.